Alicia had always dreamt of a perfect life. She married Lucas, a man whose smile could light up the darkest room. Their wedding was a grand affair, with guests pouring in from all corners of the world. The couple's love was the talk of the town, and it seemed like everything was falling into place. However, as the years passed, their dreams began to crumble. Alicia, despite her best efforts, couldn't conceive. She sought every kind of medical help, tried every remedy suggested by well-meaning friends, but nothing worked. Her world, once so full of promise, became filled with whispers that grew louder with each passing year. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and get more of these stories. Thank you. Her mother-in-law, Evelyn, had always been a woman of impeccable grace, but beneath her polished exterior was a woman who believed in tradition above all. And the one thing she couldn't tolerate was a daughter-in-law who couldn't provide the family with an heir. Evelyn's remarks were thinly veiled, but sharp nonetheless. Every time she visited, there was an uncomfortable silence between her and Alicia. Alicia could never meet her eyes without feeling the weight of her failure. "You know, dear," Evelyn would say in a voice dripping with sweetness, "I had my children young, just like every good woman does." Alicia would nod, keeping her head down, avoiding her gaze. The weight of her unspoken words suffocated her. Soon, Lucas, who had always been supportive, began to change. His eyes no longer sparkled with affection. He became distant, often busy with work, coming home late and leaving early. His absences became more frequent, until he rarely had time to sit with her at dinner. Alicia's heart broke a little more each day. Then, the unthinkable happened. Lucas's secretary, Rachel, a young, vivacious woman with a confidence Alicia couldn't help but envy, was suddenly the center of attention. Rumors swirled that Rachel was pregnant, and to Alicia's horror, the father was none other than her husband, Lucas. Alicia's world shattered. She was devastated, crushed under the weight of betrayal. Her mind screamed for answers, but Lucas remained silent, unwilling to discuss the painful reality. It was as if Alicia didn't matter anymore, as if her pain was secondary to his own desires. But what hurt the most wasn't just the affair. It was the way Lucas's mother, Evelyn, treated her after the news broke. The woman who once saw her as a perfect daughter-in-law turned into a tormentor. Evelyn would visit, sitting in the living room, ice cold, lips pursed as she demanded that Alicia handle the housework, cook the meals, and manage the family's affairs, tasks she had once shared with Lucas. She was no longer the wife, she was now nothing more than a maid in her own home. "Rachel is a woman with purpose," Alicia, Evelyn would tell her as she handed her a pile of laundry. "You should learn a thing or two from her. Maybe then you'd have given Lucas something useful." Alicia's heart broke a little more each day. She had given everything for this marriage, her love, her devotion, and her faith. But it was never enough. She was constantly reminded that, in their eyes, she had failed. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and Alicia sank deeper into despair. She went through the motions, cooking, cleaning, running errands, all while feeling invisible. Every time Rachel visited, it felt like a slap in the face. Alicia would quietly retreat to the kitchen, trying to hide her tears. But one day, something inside her shifted. She had been broken so many times, but this time was different. She realized that she had been fighting a battle that wasn't hers to fight. She had been trying to meet everyone's expectations but her own. For years, she had been trying to live up to the role of the perfect wife, the perfect mother, and the perfect daughter-in-law. But in doing so, she had lost herself. Alicia took a deep breath and, with quiet resolve, started to take back control of her life. She spoke to Lucas, telling him the truth of her pain. "I cannot live this way anymore. I deserve respect, not to be treated as an outsider in my own home," she said, her voice steady despite the tears that threatened to fall. Lucas could only stare, a mix of guilt and indifference clouding his eyes. He didn't apologize. Alicia moved out of their home, taking only a few belongings. She knew she would have to rebuild her life from scratch, but this time, she was going to do it for herself, not for anyone else. Over the next few years, Alicia found herself again. She started a career, surrounded herself with friends who appreciated her for who she was, and began to heal from the wounds of the past. She realized that being a woman wasn't about what others expected of her, it was about what she expected from herself. As for Lucas and Evelyn, they stayed in their world, far from hers. Alicia didn't need them to define her worth anymore. She was strong, capable, and free. And in the end, Alicia realized that sometimes, the greatest act of strength was to walk away. Thank you for joining us. If you're enjoying the story, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next exciting part. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more with you. Stay blessed and happy viewing.